Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Big D, and we're drafting tonight. Yep, it is the Big D 2026 first round mock 1.0. So, you know what? Everybody's got a mock draft, whether it be Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah, Todd McShay, or yours truly. We all have mock drafts to find the next Trevor Lawrence, the next Tom Brady, the next Peyton Manning, or maybe the next Myles Garrett if you're in Cleveland. So, who do I have the Las Vegas Raiders taking with the 101? Well, good question. You're going to have to wait and find out if I take Fernando Mendoza. Before I begin, I think this draft is really intriguing. I think it's a very good draft, especially for defensive linemen. A bunch of pass rushers going to go early. Not necessarily a great quarterback draft. Obviously, Mendoza is going to go one. We'll see about Ty Simpson. Jeremiah Love's going to be a top pick. Wide receiver, good draft, very good draft. Maybe not a great draft. Lineman, everybody loves the big sexies. Tight end, I think Kenny Sadiq, the Oregon Titans, got a good chance to be a top pick. Could be all four linebackers, maybe some defensive backs. Won't be any kickers or punters. Sorry, no Sebastian Janikowski or Ray Knight going in this draft. So let me see. I love these mock draft database so we can draft the whole team. Let me see. Do I have them? I've selected all one round. And by the way, I will not be making trades tonight. So this straight mock draft, first round, no trades were made. So let's see how well I do. Okay. Well, you ready? I don't think we should wait any longer. The Las Vegas Raiders have been on the clock and still all on the clock. Obviously, Tom Brady's there. I think we know where Las Vegas is going, and that's Fernando Mendoza. Honestly, this comes to no surprise. Fernando Mendoza is my number one quarterback, and based on how he played down the stretch, I don't think there's any question. Now, question is with Mendoza, does he have the upside like Caleb Williams or Trevor, some of the Jane Daniels strike me? Probably not. But in a draft that's lacking of overall talent and a team that needs a quarterback, I think Mendoza at 101 makes sense. I mean, does he? I think his upside might be slightly limited. Maybe he's Matt Ryan. But you know what? Matt Ryan got their Super Bowl and arguably should have won. Now the Jets. Seemingly the New York Jets get a top 5 pick every year. And it doesn't usually go well. While David Bailey makes sense from a pure ready-to-play standpoint, I think the Jets are going to take upside. Even though he's a one-year starter, I think Orville Reese makes sense. Seemingly draft Buckeyes, draft Garrett Wilson a few years ago. I think Reese, maybe the Jets. I'm not sure Reese in New York is necessarily great because I think the Jet quarterbacks caught more passes than the Jet defensive backs in 2025. But in many ways, I think we know the Jets need pieces everywhere, except maybe tackle. I might be the only. 3 with the Arizona Cardinals. I think a couple areas Arizona will go, but I'm looking tackle. And the guy I have Arizona taking is Spencer Fanu, the tackle from Utah. I mean, sure, it might be a little high, but I think Fanu may have the chance to play left tackle, right tackle. I think some of these other tackles, like Malioka, may be more of a guard, so Fanu can play tackle, especially with LaFleur there. For Tennessee, I know Titan fans are going to say, Dylan, what do you have the Titans taking Jeremiah Love? I do not. We get into the classic dilemma of best player available over need. And right now, I think the Titans would look for need. And so David Bailey from Texas Tech, just a plug and play pass rusher to me. I think the Titans need somebody to get after the other quarterback, get after Danny Dimes, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, and harass them. 5 with the Giants. Again, this is a team that very well could take Jeremiah Love in 24 days. But I have them taking Frank Smart-Yoga, the tackle lineman from Miami. I think he's actually a guard with the Giants, but Giants have pretty good O-line tackle group. Getting Mayoga solidifies one guard position, and now, especially with Harbaugh wanting to run the ball, I think getting another lineman helps take a lot of pressure off Jackson Dawn. 6, the Browns need a lot. But the wide receiver position needs the most help. So I'm going to give the Cleveland Browns Cornell Tate from Ohio State. The best receiver, at least right now on my board, and I think Cordell Tate will be actually one of these impact receiver. And so 7, now this is where I'm taking Jeremiah Love at 7. I think if you're Washington here, you can't pass up Love, especially when Jayden Daniels has been sacked too much. And, even though have a couple of decent backs, Jeremiah Love just brings way more upside there. And I think not the risk, but the upside of Love is way too difficult to pass. 8 with the Saints. I really don't think the Saints finished all that bad. Kellen Moore got the guys rolling. Shaw, Chris Olave looked great toward the end of the year. I think there were a couple areas the Saints could go. Well, they're not running back, especially with those two guys there. But I think the Saints need another wide receiver. And Makai Lemon, the guy from USC, I think he's got JSN 2.0 written all over him. Paired with a really good coordinator, good young quarterback. Chris Olave, look out. Chiefs at 9. I think corner is one specific option. But Monroe Freely has been flying up draft boards, and I think the Chiefs have to solidify getting a tackle in this draft. The Chiefs have a bunch of needs, but tackle, pass rush, and corner. Kansas City got a lot of extra picks because of the trade with LA. So Kansas City is going to be an interesting team come draft night. Bengals at 10. Well, knowing how cheap the Bengals are, this guy might bust his way from Columbus to Cincinnati. I'm going to take Sonny Styles. Yes, off-ball linebackers typically don't go that high, but I think Sonny Styles, football player wise, really good and gives the Bengals another toy to use. 11. Speaking of football players, how about his teammate from Ohio State? Oh, the Ohio State, excuse me, Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs might not be the fastest football player, but to me, he's the defensive version of Emeka Buka. Just put that guy on the field, he'll be a nightmare. And this guy's played a ton of football. I mean, he played for Nick Saban and Ryan Day. So we know he can play football, and whether he's a slot corner, safety, just playing. So 12, boy, Cowboys need a lot of help on defense. I'm going to give the Cowboys Monson Dane, my number one corner from LSU. It's a big need for the Cowboys. And frankly, I think where Dallas is, says Cowboys have to get a pass rusher, corner, right tackle. Get them the corner. Until 13, I'm going to give Matthew Stafford Jordan Tyson. Not just rumors about Devontae or Puka, but the Rams are all in this year. And I think Jordan Tyson just gives the Rams one more option. That way teams can't just double Puka and or Adams every single week. So 14, might be a bit of a risk because this guy didn't play in 2025. But Gerard McCoy, if he's healthy and that knee checks out, is a potential top 5 pick. And I think the Ravens are the team that would take a chance on a young corner. 15 with the Bucks, I'm going to give them Ruben Bain. Short arms, but if you're the Bucks, might be the gamble to get back in the NFC South playoff hunt. 16 with the Jets. I said the Jets probably don't need tackles. They could use guards. I'm going to give them the Penn State lineman, Ione. 17 with the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions have to get a tackle at some point this draft now with Decker gone. So, Caleb Long moves the potential, but I think Caden Proctor from Alabama makes a lot of sense. He's a big man, brings a whole lot of nasty look out. Well, after all, my name's Dylan. I've got to draft at least one Dylan. And luckily tonight, I don't have to reach too far. I'm going to take Dylan Heeneman, the safety from Oregon. I mean, with Harrison Smith likely retired, the Vikings have to get young on the back end. I think Heeneman makes a lot of sense there. 19 with the Carolina Panthers. You know what? Carolina did pretty well drafting an Auburn quarterback a few years ago. Maybe Keldrick Fall could be the next guy. I think Carolina needs to get, even though Carolina signed Jalen Phillips from the Eagles, can never have enough pass rushers, particularly in the division where Bryce Young and the Panthers played a lot of shootouts last year. And so the Cowboys now take Akeem Mesidor for Miami, the other half of the Twin Towers. There, I think Cowboys would be happy Mesidor there. This guy's a great football player, bring a lot of potential to that team. Now the ultimate question is, where do I have Ty Simpson going? I've been going 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know everybody's saying this is going to be Kenny Pickett 2.0. You worried about it? Yes, but whether Aaron Rodgers plays or not, the Steelers need a long-term answer on this end. I think getting this guy would help solidify huge areas of need for the Steelers now. And if Ty gets to sit and learn from Aaron Rodgers, I don't think that's necessarily the worst idea. So at 22, I'm gonna give the Chargers TJ Parker. Wasn't a great year for Clemson this year, but honestly, I think the Chargers need to get younger on the back in the pass rushing category. New defense coordinator. Khalil Mack is like 95 years old. I think the Chargers need to get younger, particularly with the Raiders getting a new quarterback, the Broncos still having Bo Nix, and some guy named Mahomes may be coming back. So 23, maybe a future pick for the Eagles with Lane Johnson, maybe or maybe not retiring soon, but Caleb Lamu feels way too consistent of a player at 23. 24. I have the Brownies taking Blake Miller. Browns have to get a tackle at some point. Blake Miller fits that. 25. I feel like Peter Woods has got so much more ability that wasn't tapped at Clemson. I feel like Peter Woods could be a steal from the Bears at 25. 26. Who am I going to take? Caleb Banks, same thing. I think Caleb Banks, player-wise, could be much better than what he showed at Florida. 27. Everybody wondered, where do I have Kenyon Sadiq going? I have him going to the San Francisco 49ers at 27. Whether Kittle plays or not from the outset, the 49ers have to get more weapons for Brock Purdy. And Kenny Sadiq gives the 49ers a great chess piece to use. Maybe a Vernon Davis kind of a role. 28. CJ Stroud might not kill me because I'm getting him some linemen. I'm getting Matt Siakam, the top from Arizona State. The Houston Texans, for whatever reason, have neglected their offensive line. Time to give CJ Stroud some help. 29, I'm going to give the Chiefs a Vivian Taylor. I think the Chiefs have to replace the two lost corners, and Taylor's got all kinds of ability. Really good pick for this late in the first round. 30, you know what? Miami, you know what? I wanted to find a place for Omar Cooper. I think Miami needs to get weapons. This guy, of course, Fernando Mendoza is one of Fernando Mendoza's go-to players at Indiana. And just give Malik Wallace a guy. 31. Honestly, I have no idea what the Patriots do here. I mean, could they trade for A.J. Brown? No. Perhaps, but that's probably after the draft. So, I'd say if I'm New England, getting a pass rusher, and so I have them taking Cassius Howell and Texas A&M, just beefing up that pass rush a little bit. And 32, you know what, Quinton Mitchell did so well a couple years ago. Toledo, I think the Seahawks go back to Toledo and take Emmanuel McNeil Warren. So my mock draft first round is Raiders take Mendoza, Jets take Oliver Reese, Cardinals take Spencer Farner, Titans take David Bailey, Giants take Mayoga, Browns take Tate, Commanders take Jeremiah Love, Saints take Makai Lemon, Chiefs take Monroe Freely, Bengals take Sonny Styles, Dolphins Caleb Downs, Dallas Monster Delane, LA Rams take Jordan Tyson, Ravens take Jerron McCoy, Bucks take Ruben Bain, bringing the pain. Hopefully the gain in the rain. Jets take Ione. Lions take Proctor. Vikings take Tiedemann. Panthers take Fall. Cowboys take Akeem Mesidor. Steelers Ty Simpson. Bolts TJ Parker. Philly Caleb Wama. Browns Blake Miller. Bears Peter Woods. Bills Caleb Banks. San Francisco Kenyon Sadiq. Texas take the tackle of Arizona State. Chiefs take Fabian Taylor. Miami takes Omar Cooper. Patriots Cassius Allen. And Seattle Emmanuel McNeil Warren. So, what do you guys think? Is this draft great, good, bad, ugly? I mean, am I the worst drafter in North America? I hope I'm better than Mel Kiper, right? I hope I am better than Mel Kiper, right? But I think the toughest part with drafting isn't necessarily drafting the studs, because my mom could draft who's going number one, but it goes 20 or 25 or 30. Especially when these late first round picks could get traded, or some team may draft somebody 40 second. Well, yet that team might have him as the 25th player in the draft. So, and then trying to mix, BPA, need, and draft history. Okay, so I think it's going to be a fun draft to see. And I can't wait for the NFL draft 24 nights from now. I'll be back with more mock drafts. And you know what? Maybe I'll get the Driving to the Top production crew to have our own 2026 draft. I wonder who the Raider guy's going to take at one. I'm kidding. Who will the Jet, the Bill, all guys take? 2026. And my team doesn't have a first round pick, so we won't even care what happens. So this is the big D. The X and out of another draft, but you could probably count me in. Driving to the Top production, Spunky Spectrum Sports, Big D Podcast, and coming into a draft near you. This is Dylan saying goodbye, drafters, for now.